Good afternoon, everybody. I hope everyone is doing well. I am absolutely pumped. I know I always get excited when it comes to box openings, but I'm especially excited with this box opening. So, we have a large box that just arrived from our good friends in China at Sky Game. That's our manufacturer for our upcoming game, Hamsters versus Hippos. And what we're going to be looking at today is the reviewer copies. So I'm a bit nervous. I haven't opened this box yet. This is going to be my live opening. Fingers crossed everything goes well. Let me move to my box opening cam here. Here we are. Okay. Boy, oh boy. You're not going to be able to see me slice this quite. It's a massive box. So a little bit about Hamsters versus Hippos. Hamsters vs. Hippos is a game by James Freeman, co-designed and published by Tin Robot Games. So essentially, my brother Adam and I are helping James Freeman with this game, bringing it to market. The Kickstarter is scheduled to launch mid-October, is what our current schedule looks like right now. These things can always change, but right now we're on track for mid-October. This was the biggest step, was getting these samples in. So now that we have them, I get so nervous. It's always a happy time, but also a very, very scary time. Because there's always things that are going to change, right? There's always going to be stuff that's not going to turn out the way you wanted it. And you just kind of hope for the best, hope things are going to turn out the way you wanted. And today's going to be no different. Okay, and I know you can kind of see it down the corner. I will lift. All right. That's pretty cool looking. The finish is amazing. These are reviewer samples. These aren't even like the final production, but these guys at Sky Game, I tell you, they knock it out of the park when it comes to their samples. Their samples are really, really impressive when they put together. If you need a handful of samples for prototypes, or quite frankly, if you're getting reviewer copies, in this case, we've got 100 copies made. We're going to send it to reviewers across North America and other parts of the world. Hopefully get some people creating some content on this game and give us their thoughts. And yeah, I'm super stoked. So out of the gate, it's a little bit tough because it's kind of, although you can see me, it's a little bit dark in here. So the box does seem a bit dark. So I think what I'll do is find ways to maybe run a coat of white. Maybe under that. Might help those colors punch a little bit more. I'll consult with Jay Basson, our creative director, who's just a wizard at these types of things, and help us get this to where we need it to be. But outside the box looks awesome. The tightness of the lid is perfect. It's not too tight. I noticed that this cam really sucks. It's got this kind of jittery effect, so I'm gonna move really slow. This happened to us when we did the Pretty Princess Pomelo opening too. But I love doing this. When you open up the box, you have this kind of graphic reveal, which shows. The inside of the box right now is just plain. I'm a big fan of putting design there, so we got to figure out what kind of design we'd put there. Maybe the underside of the lily pads. This looks pretty cool. This looks pretty cool. So this is our booklet, which we wanted to be a fold out. The final booklet, because we'll probably put it in 2 languages, English and French with the Kickstarter copy that comes. Maybe we print some other copies in other languages, but we'll have to do multiple pages. What I think I might do for the next round, on Nutty Squirrels, what we did is we had an actual stapled booklet. For this one, it's not as complicated, the directions, so I think this trifold works really well. What I might just do is have a couple different trifolds for different languages. but the font size is perfect. That's always a worry of mine when I, get our book list for the first time. On screen always looks bigger than what you get in person, but this font size is perfect for someone like myself who's losing their vision. Cesar Ayala Delgado. I can never pronounce Cesar's middle name, but man, what a talented artist. He's the one who did the artwork for this. Super great guy. Loved working with him. This is really cool. So we've got this, it's going to come with a bowl. And these guys create this like little pocket to store the bowl in, which I think is really neat. So the bowl stays in there. We got meeples. So one thing we noticed when we got our pictures is the black meeple looks a little psychotic. Because his eyes just look like he's like, I don't know if he's got like these ghost eyes or psychotic, demonic. He looks demonic. So if you can see that, his eyes are, because we reverse the ink, right? So we got black ink on everyone else, but on this guy we had to reverse it. So it's not as bad when you see him small like this, but I think we might look for another solution or maybe another color so that we can go with the black on the meeples. One thing I wanted to have that, again, things like this come up during your prototyping stage, which is why it's great to do prototyping, is I was hoping to have the back of the hamster on the back of the meeple where we've got the same image on both sides, which isn't a bad thing. But I think it just an extra little touch is I love to have the walking away kind of sketch of the hamster walking away. But man, like the Nutty Squirrels, these meeples are super cute. These are super cute. These are going to play very, very well. I kind of like the idea of pastel color. So part of me wants to maybe change the red one to like a light pink. And maybe we bring in a purple color. I don't know. But I like kind of the pastel kind of look. I don't know. Maybe if you guys are watching the video, let me know what you think. I'm going to post some pictures of these a little bit later on after we're done this. These are the tokens. So these are the lotus flowers. It was pretty cool. So the whole idea of this game, I'm going to show you the tiles here in a second. But the idea is you're hamsters and you're collecting these little lotus flowers before you end up flipping over or discovering a hippo who then eats you. All right. So if you flip over a hippo, you're eaten. Everyone else can keep going. As soon as a second hippo is revealed, then that round is done. If you didn't decide to get out in time, then then you're dead. You're hippo food, and you lose any points that you gathered that round. So it's a press your luck style game where you're pushing your luck to see how much further do I want to go, how many more points I want to gather at the risk of potentially getting eaten. It goes 5 rounds. So these are like the little tokens, which, man, these turned out really, really well. I was worried that the colors are going to be too close. They're fairly close. So the purple one is going to be, let's see if you see that. The purple one's going to be 3 points. The pink one will be 1 point. We may darken the purple one up more or lighten the pink one. One or the other to make them just contrast a little bit more. But man, these guys did a fantastic job. Sky Game. Let me just say that again. Sky Game is the manufacturer of this game. These guys done an amazing job. So we got this little bowl to hold these offsides. This is just the general supply of lotus flowers. Then part of their brilliance, I said, guys, you design the inside of the box. You let me know what you want to look like. So they came back with this idea of the player boards, which are just these thin little boards. They don't have to be super thick because really they're just off to the side for you to keep track of what you've permanently stored in a round. So if you've got through a round where you haven't got eaten, you get to keep all those flowers, those points. They go on your player board. You start the next round fresh, and anything you stored on your player board is there for keeps. These turned out really freaking good. Oh my God. So these are linen finish. So you can kind of see the texture on these. Man. I'm happy. I'm impressed. I'm going to send this video to Sky Game afterwards. You guys did a great job. Holy smokes. Amazing. Amazing. Sky Game is also the company that's doing Nutty Squirrels of the Oakwood Forest. They're doing the print job on that as well. That game, if there's any backers watching us for that game, it'll be ready in 7 days. So it's going to ship in 7 days to the different fulfillment centers. So we're on track for this, as I kind of thought, mid-October to end of October, probably on the later side for games to get shipped across the planet. So these are the tiles. They're 2.5-inch tiles. Oh, this is a bag. I thought they were wrapped. I know I get excited about stuff like this. I just geek out over this. Again, bravo. Wow. I know I keep saying this, but I'm actually blown away. I knew that they would look good. When you get your reviewer copies, you're always like, I know they'll be good, but they're probably not going to be great. These are great. Like, these look... This is the back of the lily pad. Nice thick tile. But the same thickness you'd have in like Suro. If any of you played Suro, it's about the same size tile. A little bit thicker. And you've got these different guys. So basically the essential idea of the game is you have your tiles. It'll be like a 5x5 grid, right? And then taking turns, each player decides, okay, how are they going to enter the pond? So say they want to start on this tile here. You land on the tile, immediately you have to flip it over. You perform the action that's on the tile. In this case, I get to steal a tile or a lotus flower from another player. They get 2 turns, 2 moves on a turn. You have to move on your first turn. Your second turn, you can decide to leave the pond and get out while the going's good and keep your points you've collected, or you can move again onto another leaf. But if you move on to another leaf, that's the end of your turn. You flip it over. So say I flip this one over. Wow, congratulations! I would have won that's a 3-pointer, so I get a flower worth 3 points. But now my next turn, I have to move before I can leave the pond again. So if you choose to take both turns use both your actions for movement on your turn, your next turn you have to move. Why is that concerning? Well, there's other players flipping over lily pads as well. As soon as 2 hippos get flipped over, the round's immediately done. Likewise, I'm going to switch my camera here. When you're playing, if you finish a round, then you add another hippo the following round. So every round you're adding another hippo. So by the end of the game, so like rounds 4 and 5, there's literally, I think, 4 hippos for these guys in the pond waiting to snack on you. And only 2 of them have to flip over in a 5x5 grid for everybody on the pond to be eaten. So you want to get out when the getting's good. It's not an incredibly complex game. It's meant to be light. It's meant to be a game night starter. So play at the beginning of the night, play at the end of the night. I like to call them gateway games, right? So if you have new players coming in to your game night that maybe don't play board games or haven't really been introduced to board games other than the classic Monopolies and so forth, this is a great game to get people started into the industry. It's light. You don't have to take it too seriously. You're just having fun. There is some strategy involved, but it's not so heavy that somebody's going to feel kind of left out. And quite frankly, you can play with multiple ages, right? So you can have kids join the parents while they're playing, or you can have adults play. It all depends on basically how you want to play. So we got the hippos. We got like one where the guy falls in. That ends your turn. Super jump forces you to move at least 2 tiles away for your next move. There's the one gotcha card we have, which is steal a lotus from another player. This allows you to look under a tile to see, before you flip it, to see if that's actually the one you want to flip. You can lose a flower. So you dropped it in. I love the cute faces on these guys. My God. That's the, that last one was 1 point. That's the 3-pointer. So that's a blue star lotus, which are more rare than the general lotus flowers you find on lily pads. So you can find 1, 2, or a 3-pointer on your turn. Some pads actually have nothing under them. Let's see if I can find one of those. Yeah, so this one here, for instance, blank. And one last one. This one here is allows you to move a lotus. So if there's a flower that's near you, you can move it closer to you, and or move it over to maybe another pad away from someone else so that you can get to it first. So that's kind of the idea there. But a lot of fun. It's 5 rounds, and I can't wait to play this with somebody now. We've been playing the prototypes up to this point, but I am super excited now to play with the actual one. Of course, we're going to do photography on this, get those photos into the Kickstarter page so we can start sharing that page with people to give us some feedback. And of course, we've got this going out to a lot of reviewers in the coming couple weeks. And even if anybody follows Victory Point Labs groups, if you know Todd Patrickman from that group, he's actually going to do some photography for me on this as well. So I can't wait to see his creativity and what he comes up with these little guys. That's all I got for you. Hopefully you joined tonight. The podcast, we've got Joe Slack, who just launched his Relics of Raja Vihara. I can never say that, but I just said it correctly that time. The expansion kit. And they just launched today. The guy's already crushed his goal. He's already hit 10,000. So I think they had to hit 5,000 to fund. He's funded like in the first, I think, couple hours. And so it'll be interesting to see where that lands. It's a solo game, so I think you guys will find that very interesting as well. Just a really cool dude to talk to. He is a game designer. He's a teacher, so he actually teaches game design. He's written books. He's an established author, and just a really, really cool guy. So look forward to chatting with him tonight. Join us tonight, 6 o'clock, right here on this channel. We'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers. This has been an episode of the Board Game Binge podcast, hosted by James Staley, produced by James Staley and Mike Bruner, with original music by Nick Smith. If you would like to watch these interviews live, simply join the Facebook group Board Game Binge, and you'll get access to live interviews, giveaways, and interesting board game content from across the industry. I can't wait for you to join us. See you next time.